we are on the banks of the Wimmera River near Horsham. I'm with John Lamont, and Alison and John and Chris and I have been up looking at the art silos for the last few days. What did you think of them, John?
Well, Robert, we saw about 6 different silos with different art on all of them, each depicting an aspect of Wimmera and Mallee life, from the indigenous right through to settlers and to farmers, and even to some modern actual paintings that we saw yesterday at Rapanya.
Yeah, they're incredibly evocative, aren't they? Is there one that particularly spoke to you?
Well, I think you might be saying a bit about this later. The Aboriginal one, which we saw first at Sheep Hill, was just outstanding in the sense that there's 4 murals there, and the 2 elders, a male and a female, are looking in on 2 younger people who are looking out into the world, and it is very, very powerful.
I agree. That was the one that really spoke to me, that first one, but they were all amazing. And then to go to that Sticks shed.
Stick shed.
We really can't do justice to explain what the Stick shed was. You really have to see it. It's at Murtoa, isn't it?
Murtoa, and it was built in 1941 in 4 months. Months with massive long pieces of wood which was transported in, and it was 4 acres in actual site. I think that's 2.5 hectares or something. Yeah. You have to see it to believe it. It's very hard to explain.
And it would have been filled with 92,500 tonnes of wheat. So while we're here in the outback, we were thinking about the fact that this Sunday coming is Advent, the time getting near to Christmas. Now, so often when we think about Christmas and leading up to Christmas, all the images that come to us are from the northern hemisphere of snow and reindeer and so forth. And I've never seen any reindeer in Australia, certainly not in the outback. So one of the books that we've loved for a long time is a book by Norman Habel called Outback Christmas. And one of the early ones in it is read by Zach, the Patrol Padre. So here's Zach, the Patrol Padre, reading the story of Zachariah.
Called Zachariah's Vision. I am Zachariah, a rough bush priest. People trust me for what I am, the voice of their God echoing through the hard times. Their God is the silence of the outback, the silence beyond the black of the sweeping night sky, the silence within the dry soil that opens to the seed when the bushfire roars overhead, the silence of the timeless rock at the hot centre, the silence after the grinding, binding dust storm, the silence before the brown rain crashes into the dust like blood to the end of the drought, the silence of the outback. He is silent, but there, outback, there as bushfolk work the scrub, there as they battle the land and grit their teeth on the dust. I am his voice, his weak speech in the night. One day he broke the silence and sent an angel, his own bush angel. It stood beside the altar, a slim, brown figure, a bird engulfed in flame. Don't be scared, the angel said. Your wife will have a son, and you will call him John. He'll be filled with the Spirit of God, wild as Elijah, a bushman, a prophet of the wilderness, calling people to God. And more than that, he'll never touch wine or drink beer like other men. I stood alone, speechless. Zachariah's vision. Amen.
So John, you've ministered in Alice Springs and been to a lot of outback towns ministering with Aboriginal people and settlers there. Does that ring true to you? Is that what it's like in the outback leading up to Christmas?
The silence in that poem just captured the vastness of the outback, in the night sky with all the stars and stuff. Silence. You just cannot comprehend that you are so small in such a vast universe and so many people. That is their passage into believing that there is a God. Even the rough, the bushmen out there, you can't get them in church very often, or you can get a conversation about the universe and that there might be a God.
Yeah. Well, that's tremendous to see the way in which God comes into the lives of ordinary people in everyday situations, whether it's in outback Australia or downtown Chelsea, because to me, that's what God sending Jesus into the world is about, isn't it?
Yeah, the message is to you and I, everybody, ordinary.
Yeah, and that's where God comes into us. So during Advent, we'll be looking at an Australian Christmas, the way God comes into Australia. And I look forward to sharing it with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. That was fantastic.
Thanks, John.